practice naming of some alcohols, ethers, and thiol compounds. What's the first one, guys, in the left? This is ether, right? So what's the longest chain, guys? These 3 carbon. So I start numbering from this carbon, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. So it's gonna be ethoxy because in the right side, I have a ethyl group. When we have a 2 carbon, in the right side, it comes from the, when you have a 2 carbon is eth, right? But when I have is attached in the to the oxygen, we call it ethoxy. So ethoxy, and the root name is propane because it's 3 carbon. You might ask why I don't write 1 ethoxy. Because we said that when we have on carbon 1, we don't emphasize on 1. So it's gonna be ethoxy propane. That's the IUPAC. What about the common name? As long as there is no, is a easy ether, for example, no branch on it, is okay. You can also name it as a common name. It's gonna be ethyl propyl ether. What about this one, guys? It's an alcohol. What's the longest chain? The longest chain should have an OH inside, which is attached to carbon. We start from which side? From the side that is the carbon that is attached to OH. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it's going to be 2 propyl because on carbon 2 I have a propyl group, 1 hexanol. Also 2 propyl hexanol is correct. Let's do this one. This is what? Alcohol, right? Because there is OH on it, but there is 2 OH on it. So we should end up with diol. Is going to be, we start from the side that I have a lower numbering on it. So I start from here, the carbon that attached to OH in the top is going to be 1, 2, 3. On carbon 3, I have a methyl group. I put the branch sooner, 3 methyl, 1, 2, cyclohexane diol. What about this one, guys? On D, this is what? This is thiol, right? It has SH. What's the longest chain? You should make sure we set that in numbering of thiol. We should find the longest chain that our thiol should be attached to the carbon in the longest chain. So we start numbering from which side? That is closer to the thiol. The carbon here is attached to the thiol. It's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be on carbon 2, there is a methyl group, 2 methyl, 1 propan thiol. Also, if we don't write down the 1 is correct. 2 methyl propan thiol is also correct. Let's do the last one, guys, in the right side. What do you think is this one? Here I have OH group, and also here I have a ether. So I have alcohol and ether. What should I do now? You might ask. She made a mistake that she put it in here. We haven't learned about it. But I want to talk about now what should we do when we have multifunctional group. Here you have two functional groups. How to name it? Here we have a priority group table of functional group. What does it mean? The functional groups are here written as increasing priority. So as you go on the top, you see carboxylic acid is the most prior group. I have talked about this table in aromatic groups video. So you can see that the most prior is carboxylic acid. As you go down, the least prior is alkyl group. And between them is the other functional groups. Until now, let's see which ones we have talked about, which functional groups. I talked about alcohols right here, which we said the OL is suffix is OL, right? They end with OL. We talked about alkene groups, which the suffix is EN, or they end up with "ine." We talked about alkynes. They end with YNE or "ine." Alkane, ANE, and ether. Ether is another functional group that we talked about. So let's see in this compound, alcohol is higher in or a prior here or ether. So alcohol is in here and ether is here, because here we should just pay attention which functional group I have in this compound. OH and ether, right? So I just look at these groups, alcohol and ether. Which one is prior? Alcohol, because it's in higher in the table compared to ether. So always, guys, the functional group that is higher is gonna be my parent name or root name. Okay, so the functional group that is in this table is higher, that would be my root name. So let's name this group, guys, or this compound, guys. So I start numbering from which one, guys? From the carbon that has a OH, or from the carbon that has a ethoxy or ethoxy in it? From the carbon that has a OH on it, because this one is more prior group. So it's gonna be 1, 2. 1, 2. So it's going to be 2 on carbon 2. I have a ethoxy. 1, 2. I have ethoxy. Cyclohexanol, because this is the root name for it, is alcohol. Alcohol is more prior, so it's gonna be my root name or parent name, cyclohexanol. We talk about multifunctional groups more later. What about trans? So when one of your bonds is in wedge or bold and one is in dash, we can write it in trans. But if one of my bonds is in wedge and another one is also in wedge, it should be cis. Okay, do you remember cis and trans? In trans, the more weighted are in the opposite side that you see here, because they are in the, one is in the wedge, one is in dash, and in the cis, the more weighted ones should be in the same side. So in another way or another questioning, I can tell you to draw the following structures. So let's draw the following structures. Here is 3-ethyl, 3-heptanol. Make sure, guys, look at the last. The parent name is heptanol, right? So it says that you have 7 carbon in the parent name. So you can first draw 7 carbons, then put in the carbon 3 OH group, and again carbon 3, put the ethyl group. See here, I found also the longest chain and may put it in the cube. In the second one, again we look at the root, how many carbon I have in the root, 6. So I will draw 6 carbons. Then on carbon 2 I have a methyl group, and on carbon 1 and 3 I have 2 OH groups. In the third one, here I have a ether, right? So again, I have 6 carbon, right? So it says that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I have 6 carbon, which on carbon 3, I have ethoxy group. Here just is drawn because, it's taking less place, so it's okay if you draw it also straight. It's completely fine. What about this one, guys? This is also ether, right? Look at this. The root name is cyclohexane. So first I should draw a cyclohexane, right? Then on carbon 1, I have a ethoxy or oxygen and 2 carbon. And on carbon 2, I have isopropyl. That's all, guys, for this section.